So I've got something extremely exciting to get started today and for you guys to follow along with if you want to. There's a town local to me that's going to be getting a brand new concrete skate park, and I'm going to be documenting the entire process of this happening. Last night was the first meeting with Spohn Ranch to go over the designs and for the public and community to pick the design that they want to move forward with, and I was there to record the entire thing. And moving forward, if something happens with this skate park, I'm going to be there to record it. If there's a meeting, I'm gonna be there. The groundbreaking, I'm gonna be there. If there's any type of construction going on, I'm gonna be there. I might not be able to capture everything, but I'm going to capture as much as I possibly can because I literally cannot express how excited I am for this to be happening somewhere that's only like 25 minutes from where I live. And it's happening in a town that, relative to a lot of the places where Spohn Ranch has built skate parks, is very small. It's actually known to be an Amish town. And the only reason that this is happening is because of a very generous and anonymous private donation from someone to the community specifically for a skate park. So let me know in the comments down below if you guys are excited to follow along with the entire process of a brand new concrete skate park being built by Spohn Ranch. And we'll be starting with this video where, like I said, I recorded the entire first meeting with Spohn Ranch to go over the design and anything the community might want in a skate park. I'm so excited, and I hope that you guys are too. So let's get into the meeting and start this awesome series where we're gonna finish in July of this year with a brand new concrete skate park that I'm gonna get to go and ride and show you guys, and maybe even ride with some of you guys at any time that we want to.
I'm Vince with Spohn Ranch, by the way. I think I've made that somewhat clear, and this is Adam with Spohn Ranch, my associate. So we're going to be doing some polling during this workshop, and you're going to use your smartphone to respond to questions. Anyone who doesn't have a smartphone or wants to do it what we call the old school way, have a printout.
Yeah.
Old school. No judgment.
I'm not the cool ones.
Try and be cool.
I've been with Spohn Ranch for 11 years, and we design and build skateboard parks all over the country, including this one in Newark, Ohio, which is probably our closest one to here. This was completed late last year. This isn't a poll question, but who skated this park or ridden this park?
A lot.
Okay. All right, so the first question is, what are your wheels of choice? So pretty self-explanatory, but we know your answer. Skateboarder, bike rider?
Bike rider.
Okay, nice. Skateboard is A, BMX bike is B, inline skates is C, scooter is D, and then E is none of the above, just an interested community member. And this helps, give us a sense for the makeup of the community and, what kind of wheels are going to be using this facility. If it's all bikes, for example, that shapes how we create the design. If it's all skateboards, that's good to know. Typically, if we don't know this information, we kind of just default to probably about 75% skate, 15 to 20% bike, and then the rest would be scooter or inline skates. And I know not everyone is here tonight, in this community. So far we have 25% skateboard, 75% BMX bike. Is that a correct representation of the community? Are we missing something? Is that about right?
When I actually used to live here,
Yeah.
that's pretty well accurate. There was
Okay.
hardly anybody that skated, and it was mostly people that biked.
Yeah. Okay.
I know that earlier today I went over to actually a street spot here in town,
Yeah.
and the way I got kicked out pretty quick.
Yeah.
But the way that they were talking, they almost like they'd kick skaters out pretty often because there was a sign. I'll admit that.
Okay. It says no skateboarding.
And biking and
And
scooter
biking.
and
Okay.
all that jazz.
Got it.
I just
Okay.
pretended I didn't see it.
Okay. All right. So that's good to know. Next question. How would you rate your skill level? So beginner, intermediate, or advanced? And please be honest with your actual skill level, because if everyone here says advanced, you're not gonna like it when the skate park is too difficult for you to use. So be honest with your actual ability. And as I say that, everyone says advanced, okay? Our default, again, if we weren't doing this polling, we would kind of do a well-balanced park that had features that speak to the full spectrum of skill levels from beginner through advanced. So even though no one's, responding with beginner, we know there are going to be beginners using the skate park. There's probably going to be people who, when the skate park opens, they're going to buy their first skateboard or buy their first bike and then use this facility. So even though no one's, filling out beginner, we kind of just know there will be beginners here. Okay, so anyone want to speak to this? Does this look about right for the community? You guys are more advanced.
I think in this room there are more
Yeah.
more advanced people, but also like I got kids, and
Yeah.
they definitely be under the beginner category. So
Okay.
Right.
Any younger kid, I agree with you though, about younger kids starting. There's going to be a lot of new kids doing it, just like there was with Newark.
Sure. Yeah, that makes sense. There probably aren't a lot of skateboarders and bike riders here because there currently is nowhere for them to go ride. So that makes sense. So once we build this and it opens, we're gonna have a lot of new users.
Hey Vince, I was gonna say,
Yeah.
I know there's a group at the high school that skates, but they weren't able to be here
Yeah.
tonight, of course, the
Okay.
ski club or something. So I'm guessing they'd lean more towards the beginner. I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm assuming that, so.
Okay, that's good to know.
You wouldn't want to design a park like this for just, let's say, the vast majority of the people that were here were beginners.
Yeah.
Because if they get involved in
Yeah.
this, they're going to be
They're gonna progress over
advanced pretty
time,
quick.
yeah.
So
Absolutely.
you'd have to, I guess, make it to where there'd be some increase in, I guess, the level of expertise that these guys are in.
Yep, absolutely. Yep, we always plan for people progressing over time. All right, next question is gonna be, what's your preferred ratio of street to transition style terrain? So there, in skate parks, there's kind of two main types of terrain. There's street and there's transition. So street is basically replicating a downtown plaza, an urban environment with more right angle type elements like stairs, handrails, planters, benches, things like that. Transition is essentially the opposite, so it's radius vertical walls and things like bowls, pools, vert ramps, mini ramps, half pipes, snake runs, things like that. So this is street, this is transition. So the question is, what's your preferred ratio of street to transition style terrain? Is it 100% street? Is it 50-50? 0% street, all transition? What are you feeling? I just realized most of you are filling out the paper surveys.
I'm doing both.
Yeah.
It's equaling out.
Okay. Okay,
Double
anyone
voting.
who's filling out a paper survey, do you want to just speak up and add some dialogue here? Does this look about right to you?
It feels pretty fitting for the community
Yeah.
all around.
Okay.
Anymore, I see more people on transition than street. As much as I love to hit
Yeah.
a good ledge,
Yeah.
I like a 50-50 situation. That way, if I want, I can go hit a rail. If I want, I can go hit, the ramps.
Yeah.
But I can see why some people would want more transition or more street.
Sure.
It just depends on the situation.
Okay. Cool. So it looks like the majority prefer a 50-50 ratio, which again, our default, if we didn't get any input, that would be our ratio. We would target a 50% street, 50% transition ratio. Second is we have 30% street, 70% transition. Looks like a third of you are aiming for that. Okay, so that's good to know. Next, when it comes to bowls, there's two main style of bowls. There's open and enclosed. So open, as you can see, there's no real defined beginning or end to the bowl. There's no defined way to flow into and out of it. You can kind of approach it from multiple different angles. An enclosed bowl, something like this, has a defined fulcrum line all the way around, and you pretty much have to drop in, and once you drop in, you're in the bowl. And enclosed bowls are often somewhat separated as well. So this is an open bowl, this is an enclosed bowl. I think I have a side-by-side example here. So this is an enclosed bowl, and this is an open bowl here. So the question is, what's your preference when it comes to bowls? An open bowl, an enclosed bowl, or a mix of both?
Both.
I like both.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because they both have their strengths and weaknesses.
Right. Okay. So in this situation, I should have prefaced, we only have budget really to do one bowl, so it's going to be either or. So we probably can't do both, but still that's good to know if you guys prefer open versus enclosed.
I've had more fun on enclosed ones than
Yeah.
open ones personally.
Yeah.
I know the appeal of both of them.
Yep.
But I'm gonna compare the bowl at, I don't remember what the park is, but there's a park up near the the Dudek Street Plaza
Yeah.
that has a bunch of 3 enclosed bowls.
Yeah.
And I had a lot more fun with those
Yeah.
than I do with say I love Newark Skatepark
Yeah.
and the bowl at Newark.
Yeah.
So I
Yeah. The Newark Bowl, for example, is an open bowl.
Mhm.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. All right. So when it comes to bowl coping, if we do end up doing a bowl in this park, there's two main styles of coping. There's steel, which is basically a steel pipe that goes along the edge of the bowl. Or there's concrete pool block, which is basically replicating or paying homage to a backyard swimming pool, which where skateboarding was kind of revolutionized in the empty backyard swimming pools in Southern California, so that's concrete pool block. So it's kind of a personal preference thing. So the question is, bowl coping, do you like steel or concrete pool block or a mix of both? And sometimes we'll do, the majority of the park will be steel, and then we'll do just a little section somewhere that has a little bit of pool block, just to get a little bit of a different flavor and some variety. Anyone with the written survey want to comment on this?
In your experience, would you say that the pool coping has less longevity when it's being ridden by bikes with metal pegs versus skateboards? Or have you actually experienced that, or is it mad?
Yeah, just in general, compared to steel, concrete pool block does wear more easily and is less durable over time. As far as skateboard trucks versus bike pegs, I haven't seen a noticeable difference. Any difference between skateboard trucks and BMX bike pegs seems to be negligible.
Okay.
But either of those, they do wear pool coping over time, whereas the steel coping is pretty much maintenance free over time, and that's where Nate may want to chime in, and Nate probably prefers the steel because there's less maintenance associated with it.
Yeah, we want that maintenance.
Yeah. Okay, so that may end up working out because it sounds like the majority of you guys prefer steel.
Slide's better too, in my opinion.
Yes, yeah, it is kind of Adam, pool coping or steel. It's kind of a personal preference thing.
Yeah, grinding pool coping there's a feel to it that's kind of unique, but it's not as realistic of an option as steel. In my opinion.
Yeah.
I like to mix of both, personally.
Yeah. Welcome.
How you doing?
Good, good. Thanks for coming. So, yeah, we're doing some polling. So you're gonna use your web browser and your smartphone to go to pollev.com/Spohn Ranch. You just type that in as the URL, and then you can start responding to these questions. All right. So the next question is about grind rails. So there's two main types of grind rails. There are circular and rectangular grind rails. Circular is obviously a circular pipe. Rectangular is rectangular steel tubing. So again, kind of a personal preference thing. I prefer circular rails, but curious what you guys think. So grind rails, circular or rectangular, or a mix of both?
I prefer no rails.
No rails.
Rails in a skate park.
And that's kind of what I figured. We'd see a mix of both. And although, yeah, I do prefer circular rails, you know, if I had my choice in a brand new park, and there were going to be multiple rails, I'd probably go for a mix of both. So that's good to know. All right, so we put together two preliminary designs just for you guys to look at and get a sense for the space we're working with and how big of a skate park we can do with our budget. Now, I know I kind of teased you guys with that photo of Newark before. So Newark was probably 7 times the budget of what we're working with here, so just want to put that out there straight away. So this is option number 1. It's basically it's more of a street course, so I'd say if you're going to look at a ratio, it's probably 80% street, 70% street, and then 20 to 30% transition. So there's quarter pipe bank on either end, and then a variety of various grind rails, ledges. There's some stairs. There's a bollard to jump over here. Show you guys another angle. So here you can see the stairs, and then part of the stairs it turns into a step-up gap. We've got an out ledge, hub a ledge, bump to ledge, bump to rail, out rail, down rail, bump to rail, the bollard, and then on this end we kind of break up the quarter pipe instead of just having, you know, straight quarter pipe all the way across. You got an extension here in case you want extra speed for something, and then over here it tears down to smaller little quarter pipes, you know, just for progression as we kind of talked about earlier. So if you're not comfortable dropping in on the big quarter pipe when this park first opens, you can kind of get your bearings, drop in on the little one here, step up to here, and then eventually get up to here. So that's just kind of an interesting way to add some variety to the design and also allow for progression. So that's option 1. So we got the basketball courts here, and then the dog park is right here. So basically the skate park is going in between the basketball courts and the dog park, and the name of the park is Deer Run Park. Yep. Does everyone know where that is? Okay, I'm not sure it matters.
We'll find out.
Yes.
We'll take one.
Yeah.
Follow the skaters and the bikers.
Yes.
You have a park, I'll skate it.
Yep, so this is Deer Run Park. In this image, it probably looks very flat. The site is actually not flat, so the site actually the site actually kind of is like a bell curve kind of. It starts low right here, and then goes up a bit, kind of mounds in the middle, and then goes back down, and then towards the woods over here, it starts to really slope down. So it looks flat here, but in reality, the site does have some topography to it that we are working with. And I should also mention, so for both options, we have kind of a concrete access path with a drinking fountain, a shade structure, some spectator seating, and then a trash receptacle. So some of those key site amenities that often get overlooked but are important for the long-term success of a skate park. And what we try to do with spectator seating is we try to do it close enough to the skate park where you can see the action, but not in the skate park. So we wouldn't want to put a spectator seat over here where you have to walk in and walk through the skate park and kind of frogger your way through the skate park to get to a seating area. We want the seating area to be basically right off the main access path. So
Where's the parking at compared to that?
it's cut off here, but there's two large parking lots. One is to the south here for the library, and then there's another one up here in the northeast. So
Is that like a dirt path that goes to that, or?
this is an asphalt path.
Okay.
So there's an asphalt path that goes around this entire park, and then we will connect to that asphalt path with new concrete.
It's asphalt all the way over to that big parking lot as well.
Yep.
If that, you could ride it, I guess.
Yeah. Yep, it's asphalt, it's not dirt or gravel, so. Yep. And then this is option 2, so more transition focus. It has a bowl, as you can see here. I would call this one probably, what would you say? 70, 80% transition?
60-40.
Okay.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
It looked like.
Okay, so coming in off the access path, we've got the same, setup with the site amenities, drinking fountain, benches, shade, all that. And we got kind of a mellow kind of beginner area right here where you got your key skate park staples like your flat rail, flat ledge, grind ledge, little mani pad. You've got a quarter pipe along this edge here with a bank extension in the middle. You got a spine here, a roller, and then a bank that leads up to the elevated area here. So again, with the topography of the site, once we get to this point in the site, we have to start building up. So that's why this section of the site is built up. So there's a bank that runs the full width of the park here. It's got a slappy curve at the top. And then we got the bowl over here. So the angle of the bowl. So the bowl's got kind of a mini ramp, mini half pipe section right here where you can just, skate this back and forth like a mini ramp all day long. I personally love skating mini ramps. Never get bored skating a mini ramp. But then obviously in addition, you can flow through the rest of the bowl, and it's got kind of a sharp hip here, a round hip here, and then a quarter pipe extension here. So in case you need to get more speed for a starting point or something like that, you can drop in here and get going. So that's option 2, and you can see how that fits into the site. Before I ask this question, so I want to clarify, these are just 2 preliminary concepts, just to give you guys a sense for how big of a skate park we can build with the budget, and give you a sense for the site. So we don't necessarily need to choose, it's either this one or that one. I would like to hear you guys' input if you do prefer one versus the other. But what we can also do is we can combine these 2 designs. You can say, I like aspects of this design, I like aspects of this design, and then we'll go back and we'll mash them together, or we'll come up with something, completely brand new. So don't feel like you're locked into either or with these 2 concepts. These are just 2 preliminary ideas. Okay? So the question is, which do you prefer? Option 1, and I'll go back to option 1 in case you forgot it. So that's option 1.
We don't want it.
Or option 2.
We want that
I
one.
need a bowl.
We all want number 2.
Number 2? Okay, I'm gonna ask you guys to explain your decision.
I like bowls.
The bowl, every single aspect of the park
Yeah.
flows together.
Yeah, that looked really nice.
You can go in and out of both of them, or to put it another way,
Yeah.
they can be used separately as
Yeah,
well.
totally.
So they can segregate. Someone could be using the bowl
Yeah.
while someone is using the other section.
Yeah.
That park, you're kind of having people going
Yep.
everywhere all at one
Yes,
time.
totally.
How tall of a bowl are you thinking?
So right now
6 foot?
right now it's a 4-foot bowl.
That's a perfect size
Yeah.
in my opinion.
So it's not too deep, but also not too shallow where it gets boring. And I like what you're saying about kind of separated areas. So on a day when you show up to the park and there's no one there, you can flow through this thing and you can have a blast. Everything is, is still interconnected and there's no dead ends. You can flow through this entire thing. But on days, especially when it first opens, if you go on a Saturday afternoon when it first opened, it's going to be crowded. So this park can kind of be separated into two areas. You can have people skating the bowl or riding the bowl, and you can have a whole other group of people kind of just flowing back and forth through here. So it does have kind of two distinct areas. On days where it's more crowded, it just handles a larger number of users in a more efficient way. So I like what you're saying, Matt. Okay.
I like the design of the bowl because I'm with you. Mini ramps are my favorite thing in the world. I have one in my garage.
Yeah, nice.
But like, I like how that bowl though is set up where you can use it as a mini ramp.
Yes.
Because I've skated some bowls that you couldn't do that.
Yeah.
Whereas in this one though, I really like the design of that bowl.
There's actually a larger mini ramp here on the bottom,
Oh, I see that now.
so you got two mini ramp opportunities there.
Oh,
Some fly out.
Mini
Thanks for coming.
And for the bikes, it's one giant mini ramp where you go quarter, box jump,
Yep, I see
spine, quarter.
I
Yeah.
can already see
Spine, quarter, totally.
I can
Yeah.
already picture myself dropping in over here, doing a board slide across that spine over there, going and then killing that bowl for a second. Like I like that design. My dad showed me a picture of it when it was announced, and I'm like, I like that. I'm voting for it.
Cool.
My only question about this one is how tall is that bank to sub looking
That's
thing?
what I was curious. Is it steep?
Is it going to be tall enough for us to use pegs on? Because that's
This little curve
Yeah.
right here? No, it's pretty low. It's probably about 14 inches tall.
probably tall enough
Yeah.
for. I mean, I would say
Yeah.
for us, it would be ideal if it was at least tall enough to be
taller.
able to put pegs on
Sure.
and use that way.
Okay.
It looks like it would be like the perfect in between for a bike, and also still low enough where a skateboard can still pretty easily get up there, 50-50 it, which is always a good balance. Because some parks I can tell are more designed for bikes and some more for.
And it's hard to tell, but the face of it is not a straight face. It's slanted just a little bit.
Mhm.
Looks a lot of fun.
Yeah.
How big's extension in the bowl?
So that would be another, I don't remember offhand, at least another 1.5 to 2 feet up.
Okay.
So that gives you an elevation of 5.5 feet. So like I said, if you want to get some speed or start carving around the bowl, you can start here and then just start whipping around this thing.
That spectator area, that's where I'd be.
Yeah, right?
Yeah, it looks pretty good to me.
I kind of want to skate this.
You got shade, water, you got everything you need.
I just gotta say before I take
Yeah.
off, guys, I'm impressed with the fact that you're providing the input that you are. I'm very impressed. You guys know what you want, and I would imagine you guys probably speak for the populace of, Holmes, and where are you guys from? Wayne County.
Coshocton County.
Coshocton, okay. So you guys would come to Holmes County to use that?
I would.
At least once
It's
a
only
week.
it's only a 30-minute drive.
If we had that, I'd be here at least once a week.
How does that compare to Worcester's?
It doesn't.
I actually like that design.
We love Worcester's because we have it. Like it's ours, but we want to ride that. Yeah. It's got better flow. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's two different styles.
It's apples and oranges.
Yeah, apples and oranges. Worcester is more like small park. This would be a concrete, different dynamic completely.
I would personally rather like if I were gonna relearn skateboarding from the get-go,
Yeah.
that would be a good park to learn on. I can
Totally.
already tell.
Yep.
I learned on a piece of garbage park in Mount Vernon though, so
That's great. It looks like it has great flow.
Right?
It's good for different levels. I can see hanging out here with kids,
Yeah.
being able to do stuff on the bank, and you can have separate sessions
Yeah.
at that park.
Yeah.
The other one looked like one that you would just
Yeah.
it had a rhythm. It would just forward, kind of like Wadsworth Park is. You guys, how it's
Yeah.
you go one, then back, then
Yeah.
back.
Yeah.
The other one, separate sessions can happen.
Sure.
That's attractive.
I do like the steps.
Yeah.
I like the little step and ledge thing from this park, but that's really the only thing I like about this park better.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So you guys, you said Worcester, Newark, where do you go?
There's a lot of places.
I go to Mount Vernon.
It's not skate park though. It's
Cleveland.
BMX. Pretty
Okay.
much just trails.
Yeah.
Trails.
Yes.
With that deeper in, is it possible to be deeper? If you were talking about progression,
Yeah.
if you kept the mini ramp part and sunk that middle part down a little bit deeper,
Do a waterfall and do a deeper section.
That would be the goal, yes.
that would add another dynamic.
Nice, like 6 foot with a 7 foot extension.
Yeah. We'll have to look at the drainage drainage conditions. We can only go so deep in order to drain it properly, so we'll have to take a look at that, but definitely worth looking into.
You know, Cook River made an attempt at that, but they made it deep and too deep,
Yeah.
where people are intimidated. But
Yeah.
when you talk about progression in that level right there, yes, the mini is good, but then you want people to go to the next level.
Sure.
One thing too that you have to think about with that is the lower you go, the steeper you're going to end up making those deeper transitions because you don't have all that space to work with. So you have to keep the flat
But then
bottom.
for you biking, I would think you would want to go deeper than right?
I'm just
But
pointing it out.
One thing I can point out, comparing, like, you know, there are clearly more bikers here than skaters. That's because all the skaters are in school and at home probably still sleeping. But like I've learned though that for a bike, like a 6 foot ramp is not as big to a bike as it is to a skateboard. Like I can do a 6 foot ramp, but 4 foot is about like that is like a perfect size for a skateboard from my experience. So I actually maybe if like I do like the idea of a drop though. So like, but not quite. 6 foot's a little bit much.
Yeah.
Maybe have the six as the maybe extent maybe be more like a 5 foot everywhere else, where like and then it's maybe a 6.5 foot extension over there. But I like your idea of having a drop like that.
Okay.
So that's fun. It's a good way to get speed.
Cool. Like a rolling.
Yeah.
All right, so with this design, if we do lean towards this one, there's only one grind rail. So mixing both grind rails, that answer doesn't work anymore. So with only one grind rail, what are we gonna be?
Round.
I can do round.
Okay.
Yeah, round.
Okay.
I don't got pigs.
Every skate park I go to, the round rail gets used more than any rail.
Oh yeah.
I like round. For me, I like round rails.
It has one square rail. It's rusted.
I use the heck out of that thing.
So next, we have all these images of different skate park elements that we've done over the years, and what we do is we will give you guys some sticky dots, and you can put those dots on your favorite features, and then basically we take that back to the office, and we can see what your favorite features are, and try to incorporate features like that into the design. In this case, I think we kind of, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think we're on the right track here with this design already.
I did have one real quick question. I don't
yeah.
think nobody asked. How tall is that spine?
Oh, that is a good point.
That's a good
It's a
question.
3 foot spine right now.
Oh, 3.
Yeah.
3's actually pretty good size. That's about the size of the one in Vernon.
Yeah, we should go to.
that though. I'm scared of anything taller.
It should be because there's not really any good 4 foot spines in this area, and Worcester has a 3 foot. So like trying to be different
Some
than
variety,
what's around 4 feet would feel
Especially
better.
the 4 foot with that roller beside it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That'd be sweet.
If I had a 4 foot spine somewhere, I might be able to do the 6 foot at raise.
Because like in
Maybe, just maybe.
Mount Vernon and Worcester both have 3 foot spines, which are fun and all.
Yeah.
But like I want to get a little bit more speed
Okay.
and intensity with it. But
Yeah.
whereas in like the spine that's right next to the bowl in Newark is too tall
Yeah.
for me, and also it's too steep.
Yeah.
I don't skate that one.
Okay.
Whereas in a 4 foot, I agree with you, where a 4 foot spine would be ideal for this park.
Okay.
Especially if you get a lot of speed off
Yeah.
this.
Yeah.
Corners
There's a lot
into
of
it.
here. Yeah. For
There's
sure.
nothing worse than going 80 miles an hour on a
Does
real
that mean
small spine. Unless you're
the
hammering
quarter
it.
after it is 3 foot too?
No.
That one,
The quarter
That
is
one's
4, and then there's a bank extension that goes to I think 5.5.
Oh, that's
so
Yeah, they both got to be 4 foot, so it can be like a half pipe.
Yeah. Okay, so I mean, you guys are feel free to look at these images, but are we in agreement that we're going in the right direction with this design right here?
Absolutely.
Okay.
yep. I.
We don't have any good
Same thing.
Feel free
They
to-
both mean yes.
Feel free to look at these images, and if there's anything you like, let us know. But yeah, I think we got consensus that we like the bowl, we like the mini ramp section, we like the spine. This skate park staples like the ledge and the flat bar. We like kind of this flow with kind of 2 separate areas. So if you guys are good with that, we'll continue in that direction.
What about adding like a little small hubba over where that grind ledge is? Right there. Instead of putting the grind ledge there, put a hubba with a ledge on it.
Especially if it goes into.
Like a raised feature?
Yeah, like a wedge.
Oh, 2 wedges
like
together?
A wedge,
Yeah,
wedge with
yeah,
a grind ledge up
Yeah.
and down it.
Yeah, I think that's gonna be too tight in there.
Okay.
Yeah, because this grind ledge right now is about 12 feet long. And to do what you're talking about, like an A-frame, something like this.
12 feet.
Oh, wow.
Is that kind of what you're talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah, so something like this would be about 18 feet long. So it's going to be about 6 feet longer than this ledge is now. So it's going to be too cramped in there.
And there's no good long flat rails or flat ledges
Yeah.
anywhere near here.
Mount Vernon's got a pretty good ledge. It's the one thing it's got going.
Okay.
So about how much total space, like this way and this way, is this gonna take up in that area?
The skate park itself is about 3,600 square feet. And the dimensions I don't remember offhand, but I would guess this is probably 100 feet long by 40-ish foot wide. Roughly. Yeah.
Just to kind of give an
Yeah,
idea
sure.
of what kind of space it's
Yeah.
gonna take up.
I guess it's given. I think that is what's possible.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So it's the size of like the basketball court, kind of similar
Yep.
to that.
Yep. That's a good scale reference. Just an overview of the next steps. So tonight we're doing the design workshop. So check, we've accomplished that. Then we will finalize the conceptual design. So with all the input we gathered here tonight, we'll basically go back, make some final tweaks,
Brant, B-R-A-N-T.
study everything, study all the
More.
spacing, just refine everything, make sure everything's dialed.
2 O's.
Then we will prepare the construction documents, which is all the technical construction details, do all the engineering, grading and drainage plan, all that kind of stuff. Then we will have a groundbreaking. Then we will have a construction period. So we have a team of in-house contractors. Most of them skate and bike themselves. They'll come, they'll be a part of your community for probably about 6 weeks. And then we're
July
looking to complete
2020.
construction sometime
Yeah.
in July. So hopefully in July we will have a grand opening celebration of some kind.
I'm
And then this is
excited.
my email, so if you want to stay in touch as things progress, feel free to shoot me an email. And that's all I had. So any questions?
I hope it happens, man. This is
Yeah.
taking any volunteers
It's gonna
to help
happen.
with construction of this.
It's funded, it's happening.